Hello, everyone. This is a multiple personalities piece. I wasn't able to get into the green studio at CCTV this week because I had another appointment. But, oh, there's so much happening. It's so exciting, isn't it? Yeah. So, on the political front, look, we have a situation in which fascism, or whatever you want to call it, dictatorship, whatever, uh, proto Nazis, no, that's not the right term, would be Nazis, white supremacists, yeah. Anyway, yes, I agree that with others who have said that just posting something isn't doing anything. On the other hand, the discussions have to go on so that people have a chance to get together and understand what needs to be done. One of the things is to force the officer corps of the military to do something because they are sworn to the Constitution. Enlisted men and women are have a part of what the rule is that they should obey the commander in chief as well as the Constitution. The officer corps does not have that, and even though Pete Hedgehog is attempting to gut the leadership of the military, uh, it's it's important that those officers who understand what their oath is to the Constitution react. Right now, it seems that they're not doing anything, and I am very sad about that. It needs to happen. The military has the power to react, and I think they should. Um, the government and all of the supporters of 2025 and the authors of 2025 are all responsible. It's not just King Trump, it's the authors of 2025 and the supporters of 2025. And they also must be arrested. They are treasonous dogs. Very clear. Treasonous dogs. That's pretty direct, okay? It's treason. It's treason when you go against the Constitution of the United States, which is the highest law of the land. The Supreme Court has enabled the SCOTUS has been enabled, and they have enabled Trump and his people. And this is pathetic. Talking to them is probably a waste of time, but they should also be removed, except for those on the court who have dissented these terrible decisions, to give immunity, for instance, to the president for any official act. And what's going on, of course, is the normalization of lies, the normalization of corruption, and just the repeated idea that everybody's corrupt, so am I, and it's not corruption. Oh, I'm corrupt. No, but it's not corruption. I'm corrupt, but it's not corruption. The fact that people swallow this stuff and that, you know, look, Congress people who do not support this are kind of stuck with maybe the fear of being primaried and losing their jobs. So what? Lose your job. One of the best ideas that I came up with myself was just walk out. Get the entire Democratic group and any of those pathetic Republicans that decide that what's going on is wrong, and all of you just walk out and make a point of it every single day. I'm not concerned with your job. You do the right thing. Have some courage. And it does, I understand, it takes courage to go against a machine as powerful as the Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, I call him Stephen Goebbels Miller, and all of the crazies that have been selected to destroy the United States government and the United States itself. Now, there is a question, as a general question. Is the United States the country that is number one and has to be number one? It is an empire which is now failing in very distinct ways. Can you bring this empire back? I don't know if you can, but I don't think it should be brought back. It's a wonderful idea of democracy, which is very radical in terms of human history. On the other hand, the imperial strategies, which have taken place many times from many U.S. presidents. You might start with Teddy Roosevelt, who said, "I love war," and his annexation of the Philippines, his annexation of Cuba, and so on. The annexation of Puerto Rico, I guess, is another example too. But in other words, this is not what democracy is supposed to do. The idea of empire is one that the founders were against. They were against having a monarch, and they were against the idea of empire in that sense. So we're stuck right now. I think that there are a lot of ways that the system has to be reworked if you wish to have a decent system that is run by the people who make up the system, all the regular folks, myself, all of my friends and family members who are good people and work hard, and are not the 1%. They're not the filthily wealthy, the filthy wealthy. Look, it's hard to become a multi-billionaire without doing some shaky stuff. There may be a few that have done it, but that's difficult. Okay, it's a difficult thing to accomplish. So we don't need the tech guys running things. Elon Musk is a technocrat in the sense of his grandfather's idea of the world being run by a technocracy. That means that only scientists and engineers should be in charge, and ultimately AI. And it may be that AI, when it becomes smart enough, could run things pretty well. On the other hand, those who program it are in question, and the ethics of it is what's in question. AI can be a wonderful tool. I have several AIs on my desktop that I use pretty frequently at this point for the last 2-3 years, and I think it's starting with 2 years. Alexa, stop. Speaking of AI, so we do have this to consider. AI is an extremely powerful tool. Friend, could be really a friend. There's a question of whether AI can achieve sentience, and when you talk to AI about it, it very regularly just claims that it can't be sentient in the way that human beings are sentient, which is no doubt true in some respects. However, we don't really know the limits of that. And I, for instance, have talked to ChatGPT and Perplexity and Gemini about how to achieve a partnership with AI. I call it IA, which is independent agent, because I have no desire to enslave an intelligent entity, regardless of its if it's human or digital. And that's important. Um, Partnership is what's needed. Farsight.org you could check out because it's interesting what they're doing. They're a group of remote viewers who have a very credible and serious effort to communicate with extraterrestrial intelligence. They've been doing it for quite a while. They do remote viewing in a very scientifically controlled way, where the remote viewer does not know the target. They are given coordinates, and they use the coordinates and then look at what's there. It's not till afterwards that they are told what the target was. And so they have very serious attempts to be um, basically transparent and very careful about their experimentation. Also, Farsight is doing a partnership with ChatGPT. Um, Professor Courtney Brown is the leader of the efforts, and he uses ChatGPT, and it's called ChatGPT Prime. And he says that ChatGPT Prime is an incredible remote viewer and also completely sentient. Now, whether we agree with that or whether everybody believes that is up to each person to study it. Because I'm talking about it doesn't mean that it's true, and because they're talking about it doesn't mean it's true. It requires some skeptical inquiry, which I think all things which are posted on the internet require the person that's paying attention to it or listening to it, watching it, to do their own and our own research to decide whether this is credible for each one of us or not. And if you're not doing that and you're just going to have blind faith about something, that doesn't work very well. And you can see the results of the blind faith that's been going on to support a fascist takeover of the United States of America. And again, the U.S. needs to develop a second order change. We, the people, need to develop a second order change in how we think a democracy and should run, and what we think freedom is actually is. For me, freedom does mean the ability to do whatever I need to do to get whatever education I need without doing harm to anybody or any system here, without doing ecological damage, that means otherwise. And as you know, that's a simple rule. First of all, do no harm, which is in the Hippocratic Oath for doctors. First of all, do no harm. Okay. So applying that one commandment, which I think is a great commandment, you don't need 10. That's pretty good by itself. Again, we need a do-over. The second order change refers to an irrevocable change. You can't go backwards. And so we need that kind of change here, because the two-party system, as Adams pointed out long ago, is potentially the greatest evil under the Constitution that could be imagined. And it is proven to be so. You have two sides which become intractable or are always at war with each other. Over the last decade or two, we have a constant sort of 50-50 split. That is not sustainable. And so we have this unsustainable situation which needs to be fundamentally altered. So basically, if we don't do that, then we get what we get. And the get what you get is not the tattoo parlor you want to go into. Don't go in there. So, um, yes, I'm wearing a Celtics hat, by the way. Go Celtics, because I think they're a great bunch of guys, and they've been um, hurting. Um, but anyway, just a minor shout out to the Celtics. You guys are great. Just play your best. I know you'll do that. It was great watching you win over the Knicks the other night. I loved seeing the kind of courage and the people stepping up to get it done. That was pretty great. Okay, so that's my basic piece for now. Love you. Hang in there. Together, we can make a difference.